Bob, for joining me for a Night of Mentorship Mastermind discussion. I know it means a lot to me, and I'm pretty sure it'll mean a lot to the community also. So I want to start with you, Kim. Please tell everybody about your first mentor and what it meant to you.
Well, my first mentor really wasn't my one-on-one mentor, but I still consider him a mentor, and I have met him before he passed. Jim Rohn, many people know who he is, and I had the chance to see him when I was only 19, and he really started to shape my life with goals and with the right advice, affirmations, tools, and I just really valued what he said, and I felt like we matched very well, him and I, with values and with what he teaches and how he uses stories a lot to get points across and things like that. And so through the years I've studied him and saw him speak many times.
Wow, okay. How about you, Bob?
And I love the fact that she's recognizing Jim Rohn as a mentor even before she met him, because I do believe that there's a lot of mentors in our lives that really serve as great mentors through CDs, through tapes, through television, through things that really we get a lot of education and mentoring from them, even if it wasn't in person. So the fact that she got to meet him later was really cool, but I think that's a great acknowledgement on her part. I've been really blessed with different people, from entrepreneurs to founders of nonprofit organizations, and probably my first mentor, besides my mom, who was a great mentor in a lot of ways, was my older brother. He was 10 years older than me, and he really taught me a lot about sales and taught me a lot about business and things that, growing up, I just thought it was like my big brother doing big brother things. But I came to realize, as I look back, that there were so many things that he taught me by being not only a big brother, but by being a mentor.
Wow. Okay. So, Kim, what was something that Jim Rohn, that he, I guess, impacted onto your life, that when you think about him, that's the thing that you just go directly to?
I think it's one of his most famous sayings, work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because I feel like he gave me permission for that. I didn't know, when I was younger, and I realized, okay, it is okay to focus on yourself, work on your self-growth, build that foundation, so then you become so powerful, success just comes to you and magnetizes to you effortlessly, so to speak. And he really helped me to see that.
Wow. So for you, Bob, what was something that a mentor in your life kind of impacted on you, that that value still runs with you in your day-to-day?
There's been so many great things that, probably something along the lines of, again, going back to my brother, there's probably so many great things that he taught me as a kid, but as we got into adulthood and started doing businesses together and things, his attitude was always about, it's never about what you can't do. It's about what you're willing to do. And I remember hearing that from so many different stages, right? And we've heard something similar to that but the fact that he said that to me when I was 18 years old, and then at 22 we were having, and I always looked at him as the master salesperson. I mean, he could sell anything, and he was very, very effective. And I remember one day we were sitting there after a sales meeting, and we went out to lunch, and he said to me, he goes, "You know what?" He goes, "Maybe you don't realize this, but," he said, "you have more salesmanship in your pinky than I have in my entire body." And I thought, this is my mentor. This is, oh my gosh. And I remember looking at him and going, "Yeah." And he goes, "No, I mean it." And he's a 6'4", 220-pound, big guy. And I just remember thinking that was probably one of the greatest compliments that I've ever been given, because what I considered my mentor was actually instilling in me the ability to pass on a compliment to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And it was a huge lesson for me to realize that we could do that with each other.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. So, Kim, what is something that, now that you're an author, TV host, and life coach, what is something that, or a teaching or lesson that you like to impart on people that follow you?
I think one of the most important things is I try to teach people, and this some people think this is a little harsh, but if you want to truly sculpt your life by design and really make your dreams come true, you have to get focused on what is the right path to go on. And so if you were to make a list of everything you're doing currently and everything you want to do, and you rate it 0 to 100%, I tell them only follow the things that you want 90 to 100, ideally 100. And that includes going to lunch with someone even, or taking on a new project. And so if you're about to go to lunch with someone and you go, you know what, I really only want to go meet this person 60%, then tell them no. And they're going to find someone else that magnetizes with them better. But you've got to stick to those things that are 90 to 100% to really go on that path. Otherwise, you're going to stay either the same place or you're actually going to go back where you were before.
Wow.
So
That's what, now I get it. All those times I invite her to lunch and she I get it now.
that is not true. You have never invited me to lunch. See, now I'm offended.
So for you, Bob, what is something that you kind of impart or pass along your wisdom to the people that follow you, whether it's in Next Level or it's the person at the coffee shop right behind you?
You know, probably one of the most predominant thoughts that I try and share with people is kind of twofold. And one is that that every next level of your life, personally, professionally, any level, every next level of your life will demand a different you. That you can't just be the same and get different results. And the second part of that is that whatever becomes acceptable becomes inevitable. You know, if you make it acceptable for people to abuse you and treat you poorly, it's inevitable. It's just going to happen. If you make it acceptable to not make enough money, and you start playing the way to how to live on not making enough money, it will be inevitable that you will start to make less money. But the same is true for when you make it acceptable to have people love you and appreciate you and value you. That's inevitable too. Or to make more money. When you make it acceptable, it's inevitable. So whatever becomes acceptable becomes inevitable.
All right, so Kim, tell me, what does mentorship mean to you?
I think mentorship is two things. I think always making sure you have someone doing something different than you so that you can grow, to learn from that person, to be able to have someone to ask questions, to maybe have a role model that you look to grow constantly. And then for me, as a mentor to others, I like to be able to look at someone and really see deep into their soul what their best qualities are and help them to see it and own it as well. So I think that's like the best thing I do for people when I mentor them.
Tell me, Bob, what does mentorship mean to you?
I think for me, mentorship really means the ability to transfer knowledge, information, experience to another individual through experiential learning, through ways of them not just learning from reading a book, but also learning through experiencing something that you've learned. And that whole mentorship process can take form in so many different ways. That it could be through a book or through a tape or through some other aspect, or it could be from sitting down and imparting knowledge or walking somebody through a step of procedures to help them get to a different understanding of something.